Homeopathy, the way I like to describe it, quick version, is it's a way to remind the body how to heal itself, how to help itself. So what we do is we use what's called remedies, which are basically substances that are diluted down to the point where they're hardly even in the remedy, or we have what we call just the magnetic resonance, what's left in the remedy, to actually have like a finger poking you saying, hey, remember to do this. So homeopathy can be used to help one specific type of symptom, to kind of like help. That's what we call modern homeopathy, to get it under control, like you have a bruise or a concussion or something like that. But homeopathy goes so much further than that. And that's why we have Sue here, because there's what we call constitutional homeopathy. When we're talking about constitution, it's basically looking at the person as a whole.
As a whole.
Who they are, how they see themselves, how other people how they think other people see them, how they see other people, how they see their life, what are their dreams, what are the things they regret, all these different things. What are their symptoms, physical symptoms, emotional symptoms, thought symptoms. You know, there's just so much you go through. And that's kind of where the remedies come from too, because they come from basically everything on earth. We have, you know, the animal
and plants and minerals.
Yeah, just kind of like we talk about, you know, those games. Is it animal, plant, or mineral? That kind of covers everything on earth, basically. And that's what homeopathy does, because there's different characteristics that go with different ones.
When Hahnemann was exploring this, he knew he was seeing something. And it took him 12 years to put this together. So this is a huge thing. When a homeopath picks a remedy, we pick it on the law of totality, which means we don't cut you into pieces. We don't send the stomach over to this office, because your stomach needs your blood, and the blood kind of needs the bone marrow, and the bone marrow needs the nervous system, and the nervous system needs the brain. So how can the body dissect itself into pieces? The simple reality is it can't. So we keep you in one piece. And so when we take the case, we're looking for your totality, who you are, head to toe. Just like Dr. Brett said, all of your pieces we keep. So as Dr. Brett always says, I have the Herculean task of finding one remedy that covers absolutely everything. And when you do that, you touch someone on the physical level and you touch them on the mental, emotional level. And when those two cross, X marks the spot, and the healing is so deep, it's so complete, and it's so beautiful. It touches a human being like nothing else really touches us.
Basically trying to find the characteristics of the individual at that time in their life, and looking back at their family and ancestral history, basically taking it all into, you know, when we're looking at the whole, basically, of the constitution of who this person is and who they're really built to be. Because I look at it as homeopathy is, I feel like, the one discipline that looks at us as we were built to be a certain way.
Yes.
And if
very
you can
much
help
so.
that constitution as to how it was built to be a certain way, it's amazing what the body can do and heal, and it's amazing what the mind and emotions can heal and do.
The second law is the law of like cures like, or the law of similars. So I'm looking for something in nature that suffers in a similar manner to you. The remedy that everybody should have at home is arnica. And arnica, Montana, grows very, very high up on the mountains, and it's a member of the daisy family. And what we think happened was decades ago, the herbal record was probably the origination of where we got all of our remedies. Because when Hahnemann realized he was onto something, that's where he started, was using herbal poultices and things like that. And so one of the remedies that they used for bruising was arnica montana, and it was located on tops of mountains. Well, how did they figure this out? How does this one little plant get known when there's hundreds of them there? Well, here's what happened. The shepherds noticed that when a mountain goat would fall, and it wasn't very often, but when they fell, it was rock after rock after rock. And oh, the bruising they must have had. Yeah, they would have had thick fur, but still, you know that they got bruising. They noticed that these goats always went to this one plant, not for food, but after the injury. So they thought, well, what do these goats know that we should know? So they took that plant, they made herbal poultices out of it. And when Hahnemann was starting his quest to figure out how this works, that's where he went. And so his question was, when I make this into a homeopathic remedy, is that signature still there? And it is. It is absolutely there. So the feeling with arnica is a feeling of bruised, bumped, like I fell, and I've got a purple bruise. That's the keynote of arnica. And when you take that into constitutional homeopathy, they feel bruised, beat up in their mind too. Their dream world will be filled with being beaten and bruised. And that's how you go about detective. You know, that's where the detective comes in. That's why you take the case the way we take the case. We have to find out all this information on you.